Well, thank you for that. Welcome back, Rhodey. So Chewy, welcome. DJ, you got your points for that win in the tomb. You killed the vampire. So hello to all of you who are here. Saturday night, late August, 2018. Will we look back on this night and realize that we really enjoyed ourselves? I hope we do every night. But it's something to keep in the background. You know, do you enjoy your time here? Do you enjoy not even just with me? I'm just a dude with some facial hair and a Minecraft shirt on for the night. You know, are you enjoying each other's company as a community? Are we making memories here in the channel for those of you who've hung out for a couple weeks, couple months? I've only been doing this since late January of this year. Streaming. I mean, not D&D, but... And you know what? In the 7 months it's been, I've had a lot of fun with you all. It's been really, really nice. And I do think that I found a kind of a... I can't say a home away from home because I'm at home. A home within my home. So thank you all for spending your time here and making characters and talking and having a blast. Chewy says, I talked 2 different hags and a beholder through a bunch of fights. I turned the boss of one of the encounters into joining us and sacrificing herself for you. Wow. Chewy, you got some tales from the tabletop to share, my friend. I would really... not even just to force you to write, because, I've used your time. I think that you might be able to serve as a good example of how you can get through confrontation without resorting to violence in D&D. If you're willing to share your tales, Chewy, whether it's here or if you go to our Tales from the Tabletop section on the Discord, I would really love to even get a synopsis, right? Like just sort of like a green text version, if you will, of how the encounters went and generally what you considered. Oh, Darkwolf is saying check Discord. Ah, there we go. So, this is the Toxic Ray. AKA the Corpse Whisperer. Thank you so much, Darkwolf. That's a little bit better here. New Monica says, it's really funny. The group I have for Faith has really avoided bloodshed. Like, they've threatened, but across, 8 sessions, there's been literally one fight. And that's because I threw people who are really belligerent. They've been working hard to find non-violent solutions, counting threats of violence as non-violent. I love parties for whom combat is an option, but is the last option. Combat is a desperate situation to them, and one of the PCs is ex-military and quite able to lay down some murder. Knowing you can do something, but choose not to, is a real sign of power. And personal fulfillment. Knowing you can do something, but you are actively not doing it. You're consciously not doing it. That is a sign of fulfillment and power. DJ, you've had a ton of fun over the last few weeks I've been here. Well, thank you very much, DJ. And I've appreciated you having you here in the community as well. I like doing things that no one would expect. I expect that of you, killer. Alright, so last session we made a Simic hybrid. So that means we will not make another one for tonight. But we will go back through, and sure enough, we're gonna clear our last results. Let's find out, do we have a boy or a girl? Or a multi-class character, in which case we'll roll again. Percentiles. 10. We have another female character. I'm going to roll a d4, and we're going to re-roll the 2 if it comes up. 1. We have a Loxodon. So we have a female elephant person. Alright, so we have a female Loxodon. Which, by the way, Dark Wolf, if you're feeling inspired by these alternative races, Loxodons, you can find lots of art. They're a very prevalent species in Ravnica, and I think they showed up in a couple other sets, too, in Magic. So we have a female Loxodon who is of the alignment. We have another evil character? Are we making some villainous task force or something? 8832, we have another neutral evil character. All right. Well, hey, if we get a cleric, we might get another death cleric, or if we get a paladin, that opens up Oathbreaker. Which would be very unique for a Loxodon, how they're presented. All right, the level at which we're generating this character is... We rolled a 24, another level 7. Oh, my gosh, my golly. What are we going to do with her stat bump, then? Let's roll a percentile and find out. Hey, she is going to be taking a feat instead of a stat bump. So we're going to add that down here. There we go. Now, her background is, well, 1 of 13. Number 3, a criminal or a spy. Ooh, all right. Criminal / spy. And we'll determine which one it is based on her personality and how we're building her, right? For a criminal or spy, they get a D8 as kind of, what's their specialty in crime? Number 6. Again, it doesn't matter what the number means right now. We'll get to it. It's just a placeholder. While we're over here, let's roll 2d8 for her personality traits. 1 and 5. And then 3d6 for the remainders. 6, 1, 6. We're in the 616 universe. We are in Marvel now. Lastly, well, not quite lastly, but also not leastly, you see this big golden D12? This is going to tell us which class our Loxodon is going to be. 11. A Warlock. And so, a Warlock gets a patron and a pact. I'm going to roll a three-sided die twice to figure out who is her patron and what is her pact. 2 and 2. That is going to be a Fiend, Pact of the Chain. Whoops. Warlock, Fiend, Chain. This is, in Ravnica, it sounds like that this Loxodon would actually be in the Rakdos gang, which is the black-red. Well, I don't know. Warlock, criminal spy, maybe the Demir. That's blue-black. Maybe she's Demir. Maybe she's Demure. Also. A spy elephant. A spelephant. And she also casts spells, so she is a spelephant, isn't she? Yep, elephant people, Dark Wolf. Look up Loxodon. 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 Chewie, some of the encounters was with the Hag of the Woods that had signed a treaty with this area as long as no one from the town entered without permission. A member of the Cult of the Dragon was trying to treat with the Hag to get her to renege on the deal and was supposedly killed. 6 townsfolk went after the guy, not knowing he was a cultist trying to kill them. We went into the woods and had a few near encounters that we avoided. We fought a displacer beast and made it to the Hag's clearing. Fiend, Pact of the Chain, the classic evil witch. Yeah, right? Yeah, I worship the devil, and I have a friend, so what? She doesn't have to, DJ. If we're staying in the theme, she'd probably be Demir. A spy fiend packed in the chain that sounds like Baba Yaga. Let's find out. Let's delve into her personality. Although here shortly. Okay, now Loxodons are considered to be medium-sized creatures, but they're right on the verge, right? They're 7-8 feet tall. If she is 1 inch taller, she'd be technically a large creature. However, she is medium. Con increases by 2, and wisdom increases by 1. They mature as the same rate as humans, but they live 450 years. Alrighty, so that's going to be the age range, I think, of dwarves. 350, so I guess it looks like more like gnomes. Alright. Let's roll a percentile and find out how old she is. In her life cycle, she is... We rolled a 13, so she's not a child prodigy, but she is a young adult. And so she's between 41 and 120 years old. So that is going to be a D80. We're going to roll one of those. 31. Okay, so she is going to be 71 years old as a young adult Loxodon. Between 7 and 8 feet tall, their massive bodies weigh between 300 and 400 pounds. Your size is medium. That sounds kind of like Dragonborn. Dragonborn start at 5'6". No, so it's actually going to be taller. We should probably start them at 6'6" and add 2d10. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to start at 6'6", and we're going to add 2d10 inches to her height. We're adding 5 inches. So she is 7 feet, 1 inch tall. And then we're going to start her at the 100 and... Well, no, we're going to have to start her at... we're going to start her at 275. And then we're going to... let's see, 2d6. 5 times 5 is 25. So she is at the 300-pound mark. She's been working out for a warlock. She's a thick lock. You know she's got that those big charismas. All right, we get powerful build. We count as large creatures for determining weight capacity. Our speed is 30 feet. When we did the race review last night, I actually thought that Loxodons, just as a gut feeling, it would balance them if they're at 25 feet like a dwarf instead of 30. We're gonna go with what's here, but with everything that they get and have going for them, I think 25 feet would work out because they're described as kind of big and lumbering. Also, you know, they have this Loxodon Bravery, which is like a halfling thing. They have some dwarven traits as well. So they're just very large dwarves or halflings who also have 25 feet movement. So, I don't know. I think 25 would kind of balance it out on an instinctive level. I haven't done any number crunching or equations. You need to get going for the night, so one last random roll and a d6 to determine where. Stops on a 2. All right, you're going to go into the forest, DJ. Her familiar should be a mouse, says Darkwolf. Maybe we could have that, or some sort of an imp or a quasit that she calls mouse. Ooh, pardon me. A twig snaps. Just a deer, you hope, but then pounces an ettercap. Hey, we busted one of those open last night with the miniatures down here. So an ettercap is kind of a spidery person. 5 and a 9. So unfortunately, DJ Delta, you are cocooned in webs and drug off to be ettercap food. Actually, we're just going to put this versus frightened. No need to be redundant. We'll save a line. Natural armor. Our AC is 13 plus Dex mod. You can then use your natural armor to determine if the AC, if the armor. Okay. We are also going to get stone cunning, like a Darth. Keen smell, so we have advantage on perception and investigation that rely on smell. And by the way, it does say that we can use our trunks as snorkels. Also, we can... our languages are common. Have a great night, DJ Delta. Hey, Daily. Oh, Daily, we've had a fun night so far. We've had an absolutely fun night. All right, let's go to her background. She is a criminal and or a spy. Deception and stealth are going to be her skills here. She has proficiency in some kind of a gaming set. Gaming set and thieves' tools. Equipment, a crowbar. What should her crowbar be named? It might be a little quirk. I don't know if any of you do this with either in your world or with a rogue character or a rogue-like character. But, you know, a crowbar is very important. It puts in a lot of work for a criminal. And so as a fun thing, they, you know, as we've been running it here in the channel, if you have a crowbar, you name it. Because you know, it's important. It deserves a name. So what would you like to name her crowbar? We also have a set of dark common clothes with a hood. No one will see the elephant in the room. Hey! The crowbar's name is Forget-Me-Not. Sorry, Rhodey, Dark Wolf beat you to it. Forget-Me-Not. And a belt pouch containing 15 gapuz. There we go. All right, her criminal specialty is number 6. She's a hired killer. Oh, my. Oh, my. Hired killer. Her feature is a criminal contact. So she has connections to the underworld still. I think she herself actively has one. I don't know if she necessarily needs a friend, but she certainly has someone she can call on to help deliver messages and other correspondence, maybe to help fence items. Oh, thank you very much, DJ. Yeah, I gotta put my earphones back on. Why does everyone love hit dice? They're the life of the party. Wah, wah, wah. That's a good one, DJ. Thank you. A hired killer that is a mason. I bet she's good with the cement shoes. Yeah, right, stone cunning. So she, you know, she takes people out to the pier and makes sure that they don't come back up for air. That's a good one, Daly. I like that. All right. Her personality traits. 1. I always have a plan for what to do when things go wrong. And 5, I am incredibly slow to trust. Those who seem the fairest often have the most to hide. Okay, are we getting an idea for her? What's her ideal? 6. Redemption. There's a spark of good in everyone. You know who this is kind of sounding like? We're talking about our previous character being a bit like Rorschach. I don't know. Hang on to that thought. Let's see what her bond and her flaw is. 1. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. That might still be able to work with my concept. I don't know if you have someone in mind on the parallel of comics. And finally, her flaw, because we are all flawed creatures, even Loxodons, is number 6. An innocent oh my gosh. This could work out very well. An innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed. I'm okay with that. Hey, Zuler Pie! Oh, what did you get as a result? Pneumonica, you know, I'm beginning to see this person as fighting for something good, but recognizing that she herself is not good. So she had a choice, become a simple monster or be the best monster she could be, and she's going for the second choice. And you know who this is reminding me of, Pneumonica? V. I don't know. What do you think? Does she? Are you familiar with V for Vendetta? Does she seem like a V character to you? That kind of jives with what you just said up here, Pneumonica, or at least what I just read. So we have a Rorschach and we have a V. Should these two team up or something? Did we create some sort of like odd, Thunderbolts or Suicide Squad or some other like equivalent? I am well familiar, and it seems kind of similar. Certainly the Spy Warlock fits in. Yeah, it's like an anti-hero squad, Pneumonica. So let's see. Innocent person's in prison for crime. She's trying to pay off an old debt. Redemption. There's a spark of good in everyone. I have a plan for what to do, and I'm incredibly slow to trust. All right, do you see her as more of a spy then? Is she a spy hired killer, or is she a criminal hired killer? Zuler Pie is a true neutral human wizard sorcerer. Wow, and nice, an 8th level character. Ability scores 14, 13... You are, like, extremely goodly average, Zuler Pie. That's a compliment. Zuler Pie, you are well above average. It only makes me wonder what Iprolux would come up as. Pneumonica says, we aren't heroes. We do what needs to be done. You'll never thank us, but you should. Hey, Diadems. Yeah. It's the test that's in our Discord. Have fun with it. Apparently, I'm a level 6 human monk. Lawful good at that. Does that fit me? I mean, as much as any of you know me, which I do try and present myself authentically to you all. If any of you ever came into town and we hung out, I would hope that you would not notice a difference in personality, between what I expressed to you here and if you were actually in town and we went out Pokemon hunting or we sat down to eat at the local Greasy Spoon or whatever. I do try and be authentic with you all. Oh, Daly's going into the Underdark. And a Lithid appears. Pneumonica, I will here. I will post the link for you. Or actually, I guess I'm gonna have to go back here and get it anyway. It's in Table Talk. Hang on, it's a little bit up here. There you go. All right, Daily, 1 and 17. It looks scary there for a moment, Daily. Yeah, exactly. Thank God for advantage. So you beat the Illithid. Nice, 1,500 EXPs coming your way. That was my result, by the way. Lawful Good Human Monk, 6th level. There's my ability scores. So I'm definitely more of a mentalist, right? 16, 15, 16. Lawful Good. I can't agree where it says Lawful Good or Lawful Good is the best alignment you can be. Come on. And it says I dress like a weirdo. Come on. I'm wearing leather armor. Isn't this normal? And I thought about it, I'm like, monk? Am I a monk? And then I realized that contemplating such things would make me a monk. And it fits, in my opinion. Alright, so she seems kind of like a spy to me. So we have our background, we have our race. Now we need to complete the character by exploring her class as a warlock. Being 7th level brings us here. Our proficiency bonus is 3. We know 3 cantrips. 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. We have 2 spell slots of 4th level. And that's it. And we know 4 invocations. So for our class, we're going to go invocations. Level 2. Level 2. Then we get 1 at 5th and 1 at 7th. Level 7. There we go. We are a D8 hit die class, so we get 7 D8. As we're 7th level. We are proficient in light armor. And simple weapons. No tool proficiencies. Wisdom and charisma are our saves. And then we get to choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. So let's take a look. Neutral Evil, a Hired Killer Spy, Warlock, Fiend Chain, always have a plan. I'm incredibly slow to trust. Spark of Good in Everyone. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. I'm an innocent person, or an innocent person's in prison for a crime I committed. Pardon me. Investigation seems like it would be one she'd be good at, right? She had this plan that got someone put in prison instead of her. She always has a plan. If you think differently, please let me know. But from a gut reaction, I want to say investigation. And probably... Well, she already has deception. If Intimidation might be a good one for her, too. She scares, you know, it's that Scared Straight program where, you know, like, at-risk kids go to a prison and talk to a hardened criminal who tells them what it's like to be a prisoner and that you don't want to be here. So, you know, she'll talk lewd and crude. She's a lewd, crude dude. But you know, maybe she hopes to try and better someone because she doesn't want people to be like her. Someone has to be like her because if she's not her, someone worse than her will take her spot, kind of like what New Monica was talking about. Right? It's... If I am not the hired killer of this ward, someone far more murderous or villainous will be the hired killer. So I'll be the hired killer so I can control the killing in my area. Because I can be discreet and I can discern and go from there. All right, so looks like she's also going to be getting a a grapple gun, aka a light crossbow. That's 1d8 piercing, and a quiver with 20 bolts. A component pouch. We'll probably give her an arcane focus. A scholar's pack or a dungeoneer's pack. She does seem kind of thoughtful. But then again, I don't know. She is kind of active, right? She's a spy hired killer. Always have a plan. Incredibly slow to trust. There's a spark of good. Maybe she keeps a memoir. I think a scholar's pack could work. She gets leather armor. But she might not wear it, considering her own tough hide. She might actually, she might actually go in a more of a superhero or a supervillain outfit, if you get my drift. Because her own skin is armor. Any simple weapon and 2 daggers. Let's take a look at the simple weapons again. Actually, we'll do that when we finish up. Let's stay here. I'm just going to put simple weapon. Alright, so she made a pact with a fiend. That's going to give her some powers. So we'll get to magic in a little bit. That's one of the last things that we do. Eldritch Invocations, we're going to choose those. We get our Pact Boon. Pact of the Chain, you learn the Find Familiar spell and can cast it as a ritual. The spell doesn't count against your number of spells known. So we're going to come down here. I believe Find Familiar is a level 1. Pact of the Chain. Find Familiar Ritual. When you cast the spell, you can choose one of the normal forms for your familiar or one of the following special forms. Imp, Pseudo-Dragon, Quasi-crime, or a Sprite. Now, I believe it was Darkwolf that said that she should have a mouse familiar, because wouldn't that be funny? I think something like that can be on the familiar list. I don't know. What did she have? She had 2 level 4 spell slots. So in addition, we can get an Imp, a Pseudo-Dragon, a Quasi, or a Sprite. Hey, Killer, welcome back. We're not high enough to get Mystic Arcanum. Hang on real quick. We're a Charisma Caster, Warlock. We know 3 cantrips. While we're here, let's get the work done. 3 cantrips. And we'll come back in a second for that. I don't have that chart in front of me. And by the way, she's going to take a feat of some kind. Oh, no problem. Look, you have real life to do, real life stuff to do, right? You have your life to live. You got bills to pay. You got work. You have social relationships. You have family that might need help with something. You don't have to apologize, man. Alright, so the Fiend lets you choose from an expanded spell list of spells when you learn a new Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the list for you. Now, this is an important distinction. Whereas our Cleric gets domain spells in addition to what they can cast, with a Warlock, this simply expands the available spells, but it still competes for the total number of spells known. Okay? Oh, gotcha, killer. So we can take Burning Hands or Command, Blindness, Deafness, Scorching Ray, Fireball, Stinking Cloud, Fire Shield, Wall of Fire. Some of those might actually come in handy if we're building an anti-hero team. Especially this. Both of them kind of roll in, they bust into the room and just cast Blindness, Deafness on people in there to try and debilitate them. Alright, so for our archetype, we get the Dark One's Blessing. When you reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, you gain temporary hit points equal to your Charisma modifier plus your Warlock level. We also get the Dark One's Own Luck. You can call on your patron to alter fate in your favor. When you make an ability check or a saving throw, you can use this feature to add a D10 to your roll. You can do so after seeing the initial roll, but before any of the roll's effects occur. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or a long rest. Now, we're not high enough yet to get Fiendish Resilience. And now it's time to look at the invocations that she can learn. She gets 2 at level 2, 1 at level 5, and 1 at level 7. We could make her a specialist in Eldritch Blast. That could be interesting. Although if she's a spy, if she's a spy, then perhaps something else. Eldritch Sight could be good. You can read all writing. Gaze of Two Minds could be interesting. If she is a partner with Winifred here, you can use your action to touch a willing humanoid and perceive through its senses until the end of your next turn. As long as the creature is on the same plane of existence as you, and you can use your action on subsequent turns to maintain this connection, extending the duration until the end of your next turn. While perceiving through the other creature's senses, you benefit from any special senses possessed by that creature. That could be interesting. Mask of Many Faces. You can cast Disguise Self at will. That could be important for her as a Loxodon, especially as a spy. You can cast Slow. Ooh, that's a good AoE spell. You can cast Silent Image. That could be another good one. One with shadows. If you're in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to become invisible until you move or take an action or reaction. That could be a fun one, too, for a spy. Bestow Curse, Bane, Thirsting... but not that. Voice of the Chainmaster. You can communicate telepathically with your familiar and perceive through your familiar's senses as long as they're on the same plane. Oh, so that's kind of a 2-for-1 instead of Gaze of Two Minds. So maybe we'll do that one. Let's go Voice of the Chain Master. Unless you get Voice of the Chain Master at level 5 or higher, then it's best to go Pact of Tome. You can pick Find Familiar. Yeah, but we randomly rolled our Patron and our Pact, and so we did get a Chain Pact. I think one with Shadows would be good for what she does, and that has to be level 5 or higher, so let's drop that in here. One with Shadows. Mask of Many Faces. And what should be her last one? It could be a level 7 or higher. Maybe Devil's Sight, especially because she has to hide in darkness, and Loxodons don't get dark vision. So maybe Devil's Sight would be a good one for her. So that would actually give her 120 special, because she can see in magical darkness also. And also, hello Perugia, sorry I didn't say hi. Now, before we assign the standard array of scores, we did roll that her ASI is going to be a feat instead of a stat bump. So let's pop over to feats and give her something. Do you already have one in mind? Do you know what kind of a feat you would like her to have? Let's see. Alert. Alert could fit in her character. You can't be surprised while you're conscious. Other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls as a result of being hidden. I don't know if she'd take actor, if she can just cast, disguise self. She could. She can mimic the speech. That could be useful. Dungeon Delver could be a good one for a spy. You have advantage on wisdom perception and intelligence investigation checks made to detect the presence of secret doors. You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid or resist traps. You have resistance to the damage dealt by traps, magical or non-magical. You can search for traps while traveling at a normal pace. We could give her Elemental Adept to summon elementals. I don't know if she'd really be a grappler, though. I don't know if she'd be an inspiring leader, per se. Keen Mind could be interesting. Linguist could be interesting as well. Lucky I pass over, because Lucky, anyone can take Lucky. It's good and generic, so I just exclude it. Daily is a neutral good human bard wizard, so you're a 6th level. 11, 14, 14, 15, 14, 16. Nice spread, Daily. And, Darkwolf. Darkwolf actually got the rare elf. You're a chaotic neutral elf ranger of 2nd level. 9 strength, 11 dex, 12 con, int 14, wisdom 6. You are wise beyond your years, Darkwolf. You have the brains. Observant would be really good for a spy also, especially one that does hide in shadows, turns invisible, and has dark vision. Now, currently she can only speak common, But from what it looks like in the Ravnica with the races, Common is the most prodigious language. I mean, everyone knows Common, right? So, you know, that could be a limiting factor. Observant could be really good for her. We could give her Ritual Caster, because Warlocks are not Ritual Casters by default, unlike some other magic casting classes. Pneumatica, I'm almost always identified as lawful. This test called me true neutral. It's really weird. Keen mind because an elephant never forgets. Ah, Daily. I like... Oh, check Discord, says Rhodey. Where am I checking here? One Word Adventure? No. RP memes? Aha. When someone who has only played 5th edition D&D tries to tell me about Dungeons and Dragons, do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Hey, Risky Luke. Good to see you. Killer Sense never asked to be a wizard. It's going very well. We're having a ton of fun tonight, Risky. All right, I really like what Daly said. Let's make her feat Keen Mind. So we'll increase our int score. So we're going to add another 1 here. We always know our direction, we always know the time, and we can accurately recall anything we've seen or heard within the past month. Because an elephant never forgets, and we did roll a Loxodon. That's really good. So yeah, elephant never forgets, and we'll try and give her a pet mouse as a familiar. All right, now we can drop in our standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. We should probably... I don't know, let's see. What if we went... She is supposed to be stealthy. I know that's kind of awkward, right? We have a 15, 15, 13, and an 11. But as she levels up, she'll round out really well. Now, I'm not just saying that because she's a big girl, right? She's a big girl. But that would also do is as we split our ASIs, we could split one into Dex and Con to bring that to 16 and 16. And then we can split another one into Int and Wisdom to go 14 and 12. And then we could dump others into Charisma, which is already even. So it may look awkward. So she's at a very awkward stage in her life, where she just has a lot of odd ability scores. But she's primed and ready as she levels up to round out and become more powerful and really, really good. Because look, not all our characters that we make are optimized, right? Being smart means you're a wizard. I'd rather be a spy. Well, you know, we actually made a character, Killer. So we rolled up it was a charlatan character. And it turned out, I think we rolled like a 3 on the age chart, which means that she was a child prodigy. And so she was a charlatan. So she's like, okay, so she's a child. She grew up on the streets, not quite an urchin. She was more industrious than just being an urchin. But as a part of the charlatan, we actually one of the options is I have a child out there somewhere who I have a child out there somewhere who, and I want to make the world a better place. And we're like, okay. So now we're confronted with an interesting conundrum. We generated a character that, you know, when we talk about like teen pregnancy or something, you know, that can make some people kind of clench up or go, whoa, hey. But we were able to take this character who by class was an abjuration wizard. An abjuration wizard child prodigy, charlatan, who had a kid. And so what we ended up coming up with, because as the character exists, as we said earlier, so too do the circumstances that made the character. And what we ended up saying is, all right, so she broke into a wizard tower. She was caught by the wizard of that tower, who is an abjuration wizard, and said, look, you can work for me and actually earn a living, or you can face the consequences. And she was pregnant at the time because she was trying to break in, do this big heist to try and get money for the, you know, this kid that was on its way. Because look, when you're living on the streets, you're not making the best decisions. And so you have this wizard who offered her this opportunity. She took it up, and the wizard said, now, you're going to continue to study. I'm going to make sure that your child is cared after in another family, but you need to focus on your studies and be a better person, learn and grow to make the world a better place for your child. And so the child was born. She studied under this abjuration wizard. And so the child is out there. That gave her a motivation. We handled the concept of a young teen pregnancy with respect and in an apolitical fashion. And on top of that, we added some intrigue and mystery to the story because this abjuration wizard was actually the head of the Thieves Guild. And so what he did was he effectively sold security systems as an abjuration wizard. He sold security systems to residences and businesses as a form of protection. But then as he was the hidden, like he was the unknown guild master, like he was the one pulling the strings. There was the guild master of the Thieves Guild, but then there was him. So what he did, actually kind of like what Pneumonica suggested for this character here, he controlled the flow of crime in the city, so it wasn't just wanton murders and willy-nilly pickpockets. So he deliberately chose targets, and he sent his agents out to commit crimes there for different reasons, so that crimes was still committed, but it was controlled. He could also run this business of protecting people, even though sometimes the criminals may have been given the passcode to the alarm system, if you get what I'm saying. I think he was a neutral character, the mentor, and so his prodigy did not know that he was the head of the Thieves Guild, but she knew that he was trying to train her to be able to infiltrate the Thieves Guild, to have permission, or not to, well, I guess to have permission to infiltrate it and to make sure that any unwanted elements inside were routed out. And so this wizard was actually like double dipping. He was using his protege to infiltrate his own organization and sort of snitch on the bad thieves. Also, he was commissioning thief jobs. Yet at the same time, he was protecting the community and helping to raise her child in a better life than it would have had otherwise. And so he was like this true neutral wizard of sorts. If I ever make a character again, I'm coming to you. Oh, thank you, Killer. That character, that session, if you want to see that character be built, I can find the YouTube video of that character. And you can watch, because I think almost all our characters, except the ones maybe in the first month I was broadcasting, I think they're all saved and I've uploaded them onto YouTube. Alright, so we can now fill in. Oh, she's earned a name, by the way, everyone. What is her name? Actually, I'm going to do a quick search here for that. Let's go. We're going to look up. Oh, no. Over here. Maddie Morg's Wizard Abjuration. I figured the Maddie Morgs would put my results toward the top here. Ah, yes, here we are.
Our mission this week is Spicy some sunglasses.
Her name is No One. She is No One. Caden says Byra tanks. Your friends and me never went into depth because they were lazy and never cared. Well, Killer, we'll make a very in-depth NPCs. I'm sorry, that is New Monica's realm. You're welcome to have that. Verna or Fade. All right, so we're seeing some names. Maybe we can cross-mogenate them because I want her to have a name. And let's give her her anti-hero name, right? If we're making a pair of anti-superheroes or super anti-heroes. So maybe her name is... Byra Vern, a.k.a. her anti-hero name is Memoir. Legend, wait for it, Dairy. So we face this, we have... All right, so how about this? Caden. So her name is Byra Vern. She wants to be called... No One. Just like our other character, Winifred Malicia, wants to be called the Corpse Whisperer. But to everyone else, she's known as Memory Fade. Which, of course, is kind of insulting because she has a very keen mind. And so Winifred is like, I'm the Corpse Whisperer, and everyone says, no, you're the Toxic Ray. And she's like, but I am the Corpse Whisperer. and so in this community, people know her as Memory Fade. But really she just wants to be known as No One. How about that? Am I threading the needle between all your suggestions? Or as best as I can? -1. -1. 2, 2, 2, and 5. 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 4. 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 5, 5, 5, 2, and 2. You want Verna because Verna Felton played both the Elephant Matriarch and Mrs. Jumbo in Disney? Get ready because I think her familiar should be named Timothy, says Daly. Initiative is a dex check, so it's +2. Her armor class, well, let's see. Leather is 11 plus dex is 13. However, her own natural skin gives her a 13 plus dex, so she will eschew her leather, and she's just gonna go in her skivvies apparently. Look, as a spy, you need maximum flexibility, so she's probably gonna look kind of like an elephantine Psylocke. Is kind of what's coming to mind. If you're familiar with that character from Marvel's X-Men. Her passive perception, though, is going to be 10. Timothy is the name of the pregnant female donkey in my game. Yeah, that's right, Dark Wolf. Her current hit points, well, let's see, you get your full 8 at level 1. Then for her remaining 6 levels, you get half +1 of your hit die. Then for every one of your levels, so all 7, you get your con modifiers bonus. So, much like Winifred here, who has 52, so too does her sister in crime, Byra Vern. Daggers are 1d4. Piercing. And we can give her a simple weapon of some kind. So let's go to Chapter 5, Equipment, and give her a simple weapon of some kind. Club, dagger, great club, hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, sickle, spear, unarmed strike. Let's see. Always have a plan when things go wrong. Incredibly slow to trust. Redemption. You're trying to pay off an old debt. Maybe a quarterstaff would work. It's very versatile, especially for her spy work. Although, hang on. Well, you know, her strength is really bad, and quarterstaff is only dex with a monk. I think we're kind of looking at... I guess we're looking at finesse weapons then? I don't know. I don't know, but she could carry it for... she may not use it. She might use her daggers, actually. So what? A quarterstaff could come in handy, I guess. Right? For functionality. Because if we're just looking at finesse, it's a dagger and... or a ranged weapon. Yeah, let's give her a quarterstaff. We are not optimizing. So 1d6 minus 1 damage. Bludgeoning, however this is 1d8 versatile. Light crossbow, +2, that's going to give us a +5 to hit. A +5 to hit with a dagger. And a +2 to hit with a quarterstaff. Our spell attack is, we're casting off charisma, so a +5. And then that's going to be a 13 to save because you add 8 to your attack modifier. And now let's look at her spells, because unlike clerics, as a warlock, you do choose your spells along the way. This was a 13 minus 8. There we go. All right, so we know 2 spells at level 1, so we're going to go level 1. There we go. Now at level 2 we learn 1 and so forth and so on. But at the same time we only know first level spells. So we come over here and we put a 2. And then we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as we're level 7. You'll notice that this follows the number of spells known per level. There we go. Now, you can always learn a spell going back, and you can relearn spells on a level. But because we're producing our character at this level, we're just going to presume that this is what she's chosen and, you know, messed around with along the way. Let's see real quick if we're going to take anything from the Fiend. Burning Hands, Command, Blindness, Deafness, Scorching Ray, Fireball, or Stinking Cloud. Stinking Cloud could work. Let's take that. And I also like Blindness, Deafness as a second level spell. Blindness, Deafness can really wreck spellcasters, by the way. And melee alike. You know, disadvantage or the inability to cast it all. It's a really good spell. Let's give her Command. Alright, so there we go. We're in the flavor of the Fiend. And now we're going to hop over to Chapter 11. But not for bankruptcy procedures, but for spells. Alright, we are definitely going to be taking, as a Warlock cantrip, Eldritch Blast, because you really should. Not that you have to, but you really should. She would probably also take, if you're a spy, a hired killer, probably Mage Hand. And Minor Illusion for a spy, methinks. Oh, you know what? We could, if we did take Observant, we could do the comp language, and that way we can understand all the languages and remember it. I mean, we still can, right? We have an eidetic memory now with the feat that we took on Daly's recommendation. We may not be able to read lips, but at least we can. So we'll do Command. Let's do Comprehend languages, and Hellish Rebuke. In case she gets hit, she can strike back. So we took Blindness, Deafness. We can also take, Darkness, of course. We gotta hide. Although, I don't know, Invisibility might be good. We can see out of Darkness, but Darkness is its own presence. She is good at stealthing. So maybe Misty Step to give her a little bit of, No! How creepy would this be? Spider Climb. A big old 7-foot thick Loxodon ninja just spider climbing up the wall and hanging onto the ceiling, eavesdropping with her big ears, like tuning in like satellite dishes on your conversation. Level 3, we took Stinking Cloud as an option. Let's see. Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Fear, Fly, a Gaseous Form, Hunger of Hadar, Hypnotic Pattern, Magic Circle, Major Image, Remove Curse, Tongues, and a Vampiric Touch. She should probably get some kind of crowd control. So that would... Let's go Hunger of Hadar. That's a very unique and flavorful Warlock spell. And she gets 1 4th level spell, Banishment, Blight, Dimension Door, or Hallucinatory Terrain. Probably D-Door would be a good one for a spy. There we go. Or wait, or did I miss something with Warlock? 4th. Oh, that was a fire shield or wall of fire. Yeah, probably not. Probably not gonna take those. That's very obvious. All right, now we gotta choose a familiar for her. We're gonna go to. Let's see what's here. EF. Bat, cat, crab, frog, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat. I guess we could choose rat as the base. Raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel. So let's go. Oh, I shouldn't have. I got to finish what I was reading here. All right. Acts independently, can't attack, but it can't take other actions as normal. It disappears, leaving behind no physical form. So it's going to be like a fiendish mouse. Yeah, though it is a celestial fae or fiend, your choice. All right, so we have a rat, and so we had the proposition to name it Timothy. Or I guess a mouse, right? The mouse and the elephant. So we had Timothy. We incorporated Byra because Caden said Byra tanks. Killer. You think it should be a muskrat instead? So we have a Timothy, we have a Tanks. We kind of incorporated the memoir. There's Legend and Dairy. Perugia, you came out as a neutral good human ranger. Alright, so if we take Legend, wait for it, Dairy. So we have D-A-R-Y and Tanks. Oh, a Monk Ranger. Oh, you're multi-classed even. Nice, Peru. Very interesting combo. Did you enjoy the test? Tiny. I mean, it's creature type, by the way, it's a fiend. It's a dank fiend. Armor class is 10. It has 1 hit point. Speed of 20 feet. 0, 0. Does it have climb or burrow? It doesn't technically. But I don't know if it's a rat. So I guess 0, it would be a 10 swim, 10 climb. I don't know if a DM, if you'd want to call and say a rat has a climb speed or whatnot. Or a burrow speed or something. Has dark vision 30 feet. It has 0 blind sight. No tremor sense. No true sight. Let's see. Passive perception is 10. It does have keen smell. Danks has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell. Just like her owner. Or his. I don't know. Or its. It's a fiendish mouse. Strength is 2, 11, 9, 2, 10, and 4. So -3, 0, 0, -1, -4, -4. A weapon, it has a bite attack. +0 to hit. 1 piercing damage. But it said familiars can't attack, but whatever. I mean, I don't know, maybe have it gnawing through something. No IRVs. It's not carrying anything. Carrying capacity is 0, effectively. Its initiative is +0. No buffs or conditions. It has, I mean, as far as hit die go, it looks like it has 1d4. Its proficiency is 0. Your stats seem high. 315s, 214. You gotta roll those stats in front of us, Peru. Come on now. You don't understand why it's so low? I guess it's accurate. Oh, come on now, Peru. You ever play a blind character? I have not. Killer sense of humor. Though I thought it'd be interesting if you did play like a blind archer or something, and I don't know, you worked it out with your DM. All right, here we go. We have a completed character and her familiar. So we have Byra Memory Fade Vern and her familiar Dank's Fiend. Or I guess Dank's Mouse. But it is a Fiend. Oh, Blind Monk could be interesting too. You'd kind of have Toph from Avatar The Last Airbender. Dun da da da. Alright, everyone. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making these Ravnica characters. We made quite the pair here, didn't we, tonight? Isn't this something? So I don't know. Maybe we can dust off maybe we can dust off Ravnica again and make sort of this anti-hero party. But look at this. 2 very interesting characters that we made out of here. And can you imagine? So we have this really big elephant lady. Oh, come on now. Don't go get back in there. All right. It's just a duo who goes around protecting their neighborhood for a price. You know, they're not good. They're evil. They're selfish, and they'll hurt people for sure. But they're not out to try and take over the world or burn down orphanages, because look, that's less people who'll grow up and have money to pay them. They do, Killer. Is this refreshing for you? I mean, I saw above you said that, look, you know, your friends really don't add depth. These, look back on what we did. These are completely randomly generated characters. And look at the story we created. Look at the depth. Can you imagine these characters working together? Can you imagine these characters' dialogue back and forth? Serious, snarky, humorous, dark. They have a history. They have a methodology to how they're making decisions now and into the future. And each of them also has a future of redemption, of improvement, of doubling down on who and what they are. Isn't it amazing if you just open yourself up to character creation, to storytelling, even to randomness, where you take away the influences in your own biases and inserting random numbers to then challenge you to think up here. You know, not think on a spreadsheet with math. Your first character did. Yeah, and unfortunately, look, if you want to play in a party and people just want to roll dice and smash things and kick open doors and whatnot, and you want to play an in-depth character with a nuanced backstory, yeah, you can get overwhelmed. Or even if all the players want nuance and storytelling, and the DM is just comfortable running a kick in the door and kill the monster dungeon game, you're kind of stuck. So, Killer, I'm really glad you found us. And I'm glad that it seems like we're able to scratch an itch that you have. Because this is who we are. We're thoughtful, we're creative, we allow ourselves to be subjected to randomness and look for the patterns inside and to extrapolate data. Look, I'm not saying that we're physicists here, but we do open ourselves up to maybe theoretical possibilities. We're quantum character creators, right? When we have our blank character sheet, any character is possible until it isn't, by virtue of observing the different stats that suddenly get locked into place, and we narrow down the infinite possibilities into a result, and then we place that result in the context of the rest of the known world. DMs were all fight, fight, fight. Gotcha. Hey, TJ, good to see you. Oh, the last game you played was 2 years ago. Well, Killer, you are welcome. You are welcome to join our Discord and make a post over on Looking for Group, because you might be able to find a game with other people in our community, and people who are in this community tend to be resonant with how we do character creation and storytelling. And they want to provide depth. And they want you to make a compelling character. Oh, Killer. Well, I have not experienced that personally. But I have heard of groups, even locally, where that's happened. Or, unfortunately, they don't pass away by someone else's accord, if you get what I'm saying. Because, you know, many people do play games to have fun. And there are people who also play games as a form of escapism. And sometimes the games aren't enough to get away with what's been hounding them for their lives. And so there's a couple people in my community that have experienced the loss of one of their players because that player took their life into their own hands. Oh, wow. Well, it sounds. I don't know the circumstances of what happened to your person, Humor, but I mean, in my own experience, that's what we find. Finally finished up your chores for the day. Sit down to AFK and watch streams. Walk outside to look for cats and find a pile of dirty dishes left by my house. Well, apparently your house has a new dishwasher installed. It's the Fate brand. Wow. On a lighter note, check character art, says Dark Wolf. Hey, look at that! Dark Wolf, ever since you got that laptop, you've been on it like a bonnet. It must be fate that the dishes get washed. Oh, and hey, there's Danks. Look at that. Yeah, Dark Wolf does great work. Is Dark Wolf open for commissions from other people in the community? If so, Dark Wolf can say, I'm willing to draw character art for people, and you can negotiate a price or something. Killer Sense says, I have a something for dishes and cleaning. So together, we have to form some kind of a team. The lore of this duo is not yet done in the channel, despite us having completed 2 characters for the evening. I like where these two are going, and these two can have some sort of a fun side adventure. I taught myself to draw over the last 2 years. I'm sort of in the process of becoming available for commissions. Well, when you are, Dark Wolf, come over here to the talent market and make sure you make a post or whatnot. You have a Betty for dishes and cleaning. Is Betty the one that you talked to on the phone earlier, Killer Sense of Humor? You want to set up a PayPal? Yeah. If you need help with that, Dark Wolf, let me know. You need something to fill the time. Oh, okay. I thought you were being kind of cheeky because you said you were talking to your girlfriend earlier. And I'm like, hey, if you guys have that set up, there's nothing wrong with it. But I thought you were just having, kind of a wink and a wink and some tongue in cheek humor there, Killer Sense of Humor. Well, oh, okay, gotcha. You just need to remember to talk to your bank to get the details. Yep. All right, everyone, I'm gonna get up and looks like I'm almost out of my soda stream. Although I think I'm just gonna fill up my pitcher with some ice water. I'm gonna get up, take a little walk around, right, get the blood flowing, and when we come back, it'll be part 3. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll end the D&D portion. Not that we can't talk about D&D still. We certainly can. But I really want to try and finish up Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So when I come back... Actually, let's just do this. How about I take the stream down for a minute. And I'll get the game set over to Vampire. And then when I come back, I'll just turn on the webcam or something. Does that work for you all? I mean, I don't need to get up and be away for a long time. I don't need to go do an errand or whatnot. But I do want to take a slight break. So if you guys just hang out in chat, I'll get everything converted over. The stream will go down, but it will come back up with Vampire after a short while, okay? I gotta set the filter to mature and do a couple other things on the back end. So we'll do that. Maybe we can finish Vampire tonight, and then we'll see what other roleplay game we go to next after Vampire's finished. So hang in there. hang tight, and we'll see you soon.